people here, believe it or not. All three of them are going to become
That's great.
members.
As you can see, we need it.
Yes. Okay. Facility and field requests. We had those two. I think you put them in under the other business with the, oh no, you didn't. But the lacrosse and the softball requests. And basically those are outside agencies both looking to
Correct.
rent the facilities. Nothing to do with any in-town programs. So I don't know if we want to make I mean, it's really no motion. We just, basically it's the same that we tell everybody else that wants to rent them for private use, that it's not what they're there for, right?
Yeah. I don't know how it worked last year because I know that they've had tryouts. And I believe we allowed them to do tryouts, but at least for softball, but we did not allow them to hold tryouts for their teams for 10U and 12U.
I don't remember allowing them to do anything last year. You talking about the place from Bedford?
Well, not the Plex. I forget who it was last year.
But yeah, because they were from the Plex that they requested the same thing last year. And we told them
Yeah.
about last year.
But I thought there was, and maybe it was because Rick was a coach for ECF, but that didn't happen. But I thought one of the rules that if we were going to allow any outside people to use the field, it was that they couldn't at least be our age group, the 8, 10, 12. They couldn't
You don't want them competing with our
correct.
kids.
They couldn't hold tryouts on our fields for the same age groups that we have.
Right, we don't want to pull them from any
So it had
of
to
our
be,
programs.
right, exactly. So it had to be 14, 16, 18.
Right.
But
But I mean, even then,
and we've never charged. It wasn't like
Right.
it was no fee. So.
But we had clear across the board said we weren't going to do anything though. I mean, the softball fields.
I
there was some gray area,
think
but-
they wound up. They may have had tryouts here, but we never granted them access to
Yeah,
it. Basically,
and that could be,
public property. Yeah.
right. We
Right.
can't.
Right.
If it's available, they can use it. It's
If it's walk-up available, you just can't reserve it for them.
Exactly.
correct.
So-
And there's no fee, right? There's no,
because if we start doing that, then all of a sudden we're going to get those requests again for talent. Hey, we want to rent Talent Hall. We want to rent this. We want to rent that.
right.
The lacrosse group that we have that's asking. I
Right.
mean, that's has nothing to do with the town either. So.
Right.
No.
And then it's just wear and tear on the fields and the facilities. And so we were talking about the two requests for, so we're just going to give them basically the same information we'll give everybody that these are for private rental. And, all right. Any other?
So do we
facility-
just get back to them and say,
Yeah, I'll email
Okay.
them back and tell them.
Okay.
Facility and field requests, any others?
I can't remember if there was another one.
There were some that were like
There was
the
the-
next day or something like that.
Yeah, there was 2 for the pavilion, and I responded to both of them saying that it's, again, open to the public.
Yeah, they were both birthday parties or
Yeah.
something occasionally.
Well,
too.
one was a Girl Scout thing, and she
Oh, yeah.
got back saying she understood it was short notice, and they went elsewhere. That she'd let us know next year.
All right. So we'll go on to new business. Let's jump around a little bit. I think, election of office is the first one on there. I don't know, with Keith not here. Again, it's one of those things we want to wait until we have everybody here. But
We never have a full.
I know, and
Full plate.
to not know, I'm gathering Keith is working on Tuesdays because I don't recall the last time we've seen him at a
Right.
meeting. But this is as close to a quorum
I was going to
as
say,
we're going to get. I mean, there's actually 5 of us. We're just missing Keith.
Right. Who
So
wants to be part of the group? Get over here. No.
well, I think before we do election of offices, but I don't know if, did you not put it on the agenda for, to be,
We approved the bylaws.
you
last
did approve the
meeting.
bylaws?
we did
Okay.
approve the bylaws last time. Yeah,
All right, good.
I was going to reply back to that. Yeah.
All right, so the bylaws are approved, so let's talk about the election of offices. We have chair, vice chair, secretary, and that's it, right?
So out of curiosity, what would the secretary do if it's not a minutes person?
The secretary is always responsible for making sure that the minutes are taken, posted, and given to the Terry.
IT guy.
Town administrator? Who?
No,
The IT guy?
Yeah, to post on the town
Don't
No,
website.
no, Terry. over there.
Brian. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be posted. It has to be with her, and then we can post it online as well. But basically, it's just making sure that does happen.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be. It's not the person that actually physically takes the notes.
Right, because I remember Sandy was our
Right.
secretary, and she was the one that did the minutes, so, okay.
And I think we have it written in the bylaws.
Yeah, I
right?
just brought them up here. Secretary shall maintain a record of all meetings, transactions, and decisions of the commission. The secretary shall issue all notices of regular meetings of the commission and special meetings called by the chair. The secretary may be either a member or alternate.
Yeah, so making sure that the public meetings are posted, any special meetings are posted at least 24 hours in advance.
Very good.
Well, I mean, we have a minute taker, so I guess it's just up to the administrative end of it, right?
Right.
Right.
That's probably the most arduous part of doing that job is taking the minutes. And
Yeah.
since
Oh,
we
yeah.
have a minute taker,
It's an easy job now without
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I felt bad for Sandy all those years.
What's that?
I felt bad for Sandy all those years.
I know,
Should try and get into conversations and like, hold on.
yeah.
Although Mr. Sullivan's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I
He
like
is.
the way he
Yeah,
does
he
it,
is.
so.
The selectmen keep him busy.
I hate the fact that he gives us a to-do list at the end of the minutes. Action items. I'm like, come on, man. Why do you keep putting that on us?
I mean, the only time that we wouldn't be able to rely on him is if we had a special meeting that wasn't taped, that
Agreed.
wasn't
Yep.
on video, because then he wouldn't have access to it, obviously. All right, does anybody have a feeling for wanting to step into one of the positions?
So I'll be interested in the secretary position. So that one, I mean, Master Hill work is doing a great job, so that's much appreciated. But doing the agenda, I'd like to use this as an opportunity to work closer with the town to get these things posted up, because I do want, like it could be a prompt to kind of get the agenda up to like 24 hours so the public can see it, that kind of thing. So it's been kind of on my list. So I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
Additionally, I still have the issue of I'm still technically an alternate, so that's the only position I could look at right now as well. So which I need to get clarified.
No, we made him a full-timer, didn't we?
no, it has to go back to before the selectmen, right? So I'm still stuck as an alternate, but not stuck. It's great, but but that's
So who are our we have Keith,
I think it's everybody else.
so we have
Yeah.
4 of us. We have 4
can't
full-timers.
we, isn't it just, wouldn't it just be an email to Troy saying,
Well, but they still have to do it at the Board of Selectmen.
right, but I mean, wouldn't it be an email, wouldn't it be
Yeah,
an
we can-
email to Troy saying, can you please?
We
At the
recommend.
next, at the next selectman meeting.
So we can do that.
Okay.
If you want.
Yeah.
We don't want to just like, oh yeah, we're going to, all those in favor, step forward, right? So do you want to go to become a full-time member, or?
I think that's fine. I think, as we're looking to build out the full membership now, can I just bring up what that list is? Because we moved that
I think
around.
it was 6 and 4 and Kurt, right?
Correct.
Membership. Up to 10
Hey,
citizens,
Kurt.
right.
Thanks.
6 members and 4 alternates. Okay. So
And then the ex officio from the selectmen.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then, that's plain. So yeah.
So that would give us 5 full-time members.
Yep.
Okay. What do you want?
So do we nominate when someone says they want to do
Well, I
it?
guess
Is that,
I'll make a motion to nominate you for secretary.
okay? I'll second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Anybody else that would like the position? Okay. All in favor? All right.
All yours, Pete?
All opposed? Abstain? Okay, so it carries 4-0-1. Secretary for, and then we'll, again, to our bylaws, we will be re-electing in
May meeting.
May, the first meeting in May. Okay. All right. How about chair or vice chair?
Who's here the most?
What's that?
Who's here the most often?
I know, I need, I don't know, it's either me or you, Mike.
Yeah, I know. It's up to you. If I have to take it, I'll take it, but
Well, I
I'm
mean-
deferring to you. You've been here longer than me.
That's the,
so-
I feel the same way. It's like I
You've
defer.
been here longer than me, so
Well, I mean, what do you think, Andy? I mean,
hey, Andy could do it.
Yeah, until basketball season. And then every Tuesday night we have games.
But that's why we have a vice chair, though, too.
Hmm.
I mean,
I'll put my hat in the ring for it.
I thought you were going to be chair.
that's what it
That's
is.
what- yeah.
Oh, I thought we were still discussing vice chair.
No, we were just discussing chair.
Yeah.
We didn't discuss vice chair.
Yeah,
No.
we just skip right over to doing chair.
All right. Anybody else interested at the battle for or whatever? We'll have to tie down and go over the cockroaches. You have cockroaches in the corner, by the way.
do we?
I'll make a motion for Andy as chair.
I'll second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or anybody else that would like the position? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? So it carries 401. And now we have vice chair.
It's up to you. I'm deferring to Colleen.
Okay.
She's been here longer than me, so.
I would take. I mean, I feel bad because Keith's not here. I don't know if he would want that position, but I don't know if he's going to be here. I just don't.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
get a sense
been-
that.
He hasn't been around.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's working a lot.
Yeah.
So, I will throw my hat in the ring for vice chair.
Okay. I'll make a nomination of Colleen for vice chair.
Second?
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any other parties interested or any discussion on the nomination?
Just one thing of note for the vice chair does not matriculate into the chair role. So it's a vote every year. So you're not queued up
That's
for
good.
the chair necessarily. So
Let's make a point. I do not want chair.
Yeah.
So good to know.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Oppose? Abstain?
Do I have to vote for myself? Okay.
You can abstain.
Abstain.
So it carries 401. All right. So we have our new officers.
Can we give Mike a position? He's the odd
No, I'm
person.
good.
I know.
I'm perfectly fine where I am.
You can be the treasurer.
No.
All right.
No.
Playground equipment.
Yeah. We have to vote again, right?
Yes. So I think what we need to do first is we need to have two motions. We need to, actually, I think we can just amend
Amend the previous
Original
one.
motion.
the original motion for the amount.
Yeah.
And it's under 7,500, so we already got the bids, so it's still within the policy. So what is the new price? It was 72?
Yes. The new one is,
And Andy, do you have information on what's being ordered or? Do you
I
know?
don't. Rachel kind of took care of
Okay.
that. But I will be able to facilitate the like laying out the actual position of it because there was a master plan.
Mhm.
That way it gets put in so it's not interfering on one of the, the safety areas that you need. Yeah, safety buffer that you need for another piece of equipment.
Okay.
Instead of moving forward later on.
gosh, I'm trying to find Rachel's last email to us. That happened right before.
It was
'Cause the
7165.
Thank you.
and our threshold is 7,500 before we have to go to RFP, correct?
Yeah.
So
It was May 29th, Colleen.
I would like to amend the purchase, the motion to purchase the playground equipment to amend the amount to not to exceed $7,499 for the purchase of the playground equipment that was communicated in the last email from
Yep.
the Playground Committee.
I will second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
So my question is are we bound to, can we approve it up to that amount? Or since we have a quote, do we have to approve the amount for the quote?
We can approve up to that amount.
Okay.
Because the thing, we just, if something changes with shipping, or I don't want us to all of a sudden say, oh, you know what, the shipping has gone up by $15 and now we're sort of stuck.
Okay.
I'd rather sort of, because what just happened with the last time around, and all of a sudden we have to wait another 3 or 4 weeks before we can meet again.
Okay. Then that's that's the only question I have.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Oppose, abstain, carries 5-0-0.
Okay, great. So she can go forward and send the the PO
Right.
to,
Who
well,
gets
we
the-
cut the PO. No, we,
Well, the town hall does, the town hall. We have to give approval to the
Yeah.
town hall.
okay. So we can let Rachel know that it's been approved for 7,499. Up to
$7,499. She can't add anything onto that
Yes,
list that she
yes.
had, but
The quote, just in case
just
something changes.
something changes.
Yep, yep.
We're covered for that.
Okay.
All right,
Perfect.
tennis club,
Yes, Jess was going to be here,
yes.
so I don't see her.
I saw that thing posted on the What's Up page, and I saw this big, and I was like, what?
Oh, I didn't see anything. Okay.
It's for Londonderry. It's a Londonderry
okay.
Tennis Club that they're running. So, because they were inviting everybody down, I was like, hold on. It's,
Got
um,
ahead of themselves.
so I guess we'll just table that till.
Yeah, so she was looking to at least schedule time, right? Or start a club.
Mhm. But we don't really know all the details.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
I think until she comes or we get
Yep.
more details, we should wait.
Okay.
All right, next item, volleyball nets.
Yes.
So this is something I kind of stumbled into. I know, now I'm gonna forget her name.
Tasia.
Tasia Boysen has been running the volleyball on Sunday nights.
I haven't been. Have you gone over it all?
I have not.
I haven't, yeah.
But we set her up with the nets that are there, and it's like a MacGyver job, with straps holding it to the wall, and it's not the best setup in the world. And I was at Pinkerton for an open gym for basketball the other night, or 2 weeks ago, and they were setting up for a volleyball camp, and they were putting out the volleyball nets, and there were 2 extra sets sitting in the equipment room. And I asked the coach, I said, what are those? He goes, well, those are the old ones. We replaced them last year. They were going to try and get the middle school in Derry to pick up a volleyball program, but they said no. And so he says, it's sitting there. Well, we're going to just sell them on eBay someday. So I said, well, what are they worth? He said, I don't know. Give me a good price. So I want to discuss it here because it's something that we could get for Talent Hall. We would have to spend an extra $460 for the anchors to put into the floor, and then pay somebody to put those anchors into the floor. But it would be something that can be men's with nets. And he said he had a couple nets he could give us with the systems. They normally go for about $5,000 for the net system. And it's something that if we purchase, we can set up, and we can, Tasia can use them for her clinics. I know there's a couple of kids in town, my son's included, who would play, and we could do pickup and charge them $10 a session or whatever we want to do to start making that money back, and basically have that money come out of the revolving fund and just go back into the revolving fund, similar to what we did at the beginning with lacrosse for the equipment. Just sort of like buy the equipment and get it paid back over time, which is what the revolving fund is for.
That's a great find. I think it's definitely.
So the question is what was the good price?
He didn't tell.
Because you said it was normally $5,000. Well, what are we looking at is my
Right.
question.
So my thought is I wanted to offer him $500 for it.
Okay.
I thought that would be about as much as we really, because with that and the anchors that we would have to buy and paying for installation, we're probably looking at like $1,100, $1,200 tops, which I think would take a year or so to pay back into the revolving fund. Anything more than that, I think would be a reach.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to bring it to you guys as an option and see if we thought it was something viable.
We have it in the budget, right?
Well, we don't, this wouldn't be a budget.
Oh, this would
item.
not be a budget. That's right. It's going to be out of the revolving fund. So,
Correct.
so it would just be a vote to,
'Cause we don't have it in the budget.
Okay.
Even if we wanted to buy it as an equipment purchase, because the mulch that was originally going to be donated, that we wound up having to order, came out of, actually, that wasn't out of equipment, that was out of field
Maintenance or.
Yeah, maintenance fund.
but the additional money that we're spending on the playground equipment will come out of equipment.
so this would just be a vote to say we would want to take out of the revolving fund
Yes,
to purchase if they, I mean,
if
see
they
if
accept
they'd
the
be
offer.
open to it. Right.
Right.
Do we need them balanced in the revolving fund first before the purchase is made?
So the revolving fund can work one or two ways. It can be similar to like basketball, the summer basketball league. Their money goes into the revolving fund, and then they can pay out of that, and it's supposed to be a net zero effect.
Yeah.
We also have funds in there for something like this to start up a new program or to fund a new program that can pay us back over the course of a year or 2 years based off of fees by
Okay.
users.
So there's essentially a cash reserve in the revolving fund doesn't belong to any of the clubs or any of the other groups that use a revolving fund.
Correct.
Do we know what that number is?
It's supposed to be a $5,000 balance in there that's not tied to any one program. I believe, Kurt, it's a lot more than that at this point.
Yeah,
Because I know baseball's got some money in there.
yes, yeah.
And basketball,
just
we
trying to
didn't use
find
all
the
the funds
numbers
from
we can.
basketball last year. So,
And we don't even know how many kids have signed up for Tages.
right.
So,
She's been putting money, actually, I don't think she's put any money.
no, I
in
don't
yet.
think so. That was my next question. We can discuss that afterwards.
Yeah.
Um,
So, yeah, but she's been collecting money to put into the revolving fund already. So there's been money that's been accrued for that. And this is probably I don't know how long the next is going to be there. So it might not be something that, well, let's just wait a year.
right. No.
Now we're looking at $5,000.
Want
So,
to make a motion, Andy? Or is this something that we just?
yeah, I'll make a motion to allow the spending of up to $1,200 to feed the volleyball equipment for the volleyball clinics at Town Hall to be paid for out of the revolving fund and replaced over the next year with fees through players and participants.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I guess my question is, do you see this guy regularly? And can you go like this week and discuss with him
Mhm.
purchasing it?
Well, I don't know if he's around. Hopefully he's around.
Okay.
So I think they have a baseball camp. He's also a baseball coach over there. So I'll present the offer. If it doesn't get turned, if he says, no, I need $1,000, then all right, forget it. We'll go from there.
You said that something, and I missed it because I was looking for our funds, but you said something about being anchoring them to the floor. Were you talking about the old ones or the new ones?
The new ones.
The new ones would get anchored. How is that going to affect like basketball?
It doesn't.
Okay.
So that's why the anchors are I was shocked at how expensive they are.
Mhm.
But they basically get drilled into the floor.
Yep.
And then there's like a female receptor that goes in, and then the nets, they're kind of like on a T.
Yeah,
And
so
so
they
those
peg
get,
into that hole.
those get bolted in when you take the bolts out, there are caps that you put in it and it's flush with the floor.
It's
Oh,
at LMS, and I think the high school has them too. And it doesn't
Right.
Oh, okay, all right. All right,
impact
cool.
the floor at all.
Yeah.
So say he comes back and says, no, Andy, I'm looking for $1,000. You just said this type of equipment could cost up to $5,000.
Right.
Would it be in our best interest to then come back, say, okay, he's looking for $1,000. This is going to cost us potentially $1,500. Do we up our?
Well, we can discuss, I'll bring
Yeah,
that.
I
I'll
was
just
going
bring
to
it to
say,
the next meeting.
what I'm saying is, if he says 1,000, I think we still may want to discuss it as a board.
But I think right now, I think he'd be open to it.
Okay.
Honestly, I think that will, I might actually start him at, well, he probably can't watch. He won't watch this. Maybe I'll start him at like 3.
Yeah, he's not watching these.
No, he lives in Manchester. He won't watch this.
And that's been sitting there for a year. No one's been using it. No one's even.
Well, he hasn't put it on
tried
eBay yet.
Again.
He has just been, sounds like he's been just sitting on it.
Right.
Probably
Yeah,
didn't even remember.
three's
It
a
was in
good
there. Andy
number.
could have taken it home with him and be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Well, and actually, yeah, I was going to say the other alternative I thought of was talking to him because they're always pressed with gym space over there. They have very limited access to their gym. So, and they can't do any off-season stuff. So my other thought was to offer him some time in talent if he would donate them. We've done that in the past with some programs. So
Is that during our busiest time of the year or when is their season?
no, it would be during the summer before. So it would be hot in there.
yeah, come use a hall that's
Um,
No,
Really
no
hot.
idea.
but it would be something from now until August 13th, 14th, when they start tryouts. That's when they really, and I know Jayla Brennan used to do
Mhm.
some stuff for Campbell, and the girls at Campbell, in addition to Tasia's, they might be interested in doing something like that too, because get ready for tryouts. There's not a lot of facilities around that they can go to Sports Zone, but Sports Zone now is under new management, and it's an arm and a leg to get a court over there. So, but I'll run the $500 by him, see what he says, and we'll go from there.
Cool.
We talked about
vote
this.
still?
I don't think we.
Oh,
voted
yeah,
yet.
we didn't
Oh,
vote.
that's right.
Vote.
So, any
I had a
further
second.
discussion?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose, abstain, all right, carries 5-0-0. We talked about the softball and lacrosse field rentals. 2020 warrant articles, I just figured we should put it on there to at least discuss. This is where we really need to, we always seem to think about this in October when it's a little late to be starting the process. So if there's anything that we can think of that we need as a warrant article, I can't think of any pressing
what
needs
was
that
your-
we have.
You're working on the heating system for talent.
Oh, that's right.
That takes that off the table for us. And you know what's funny, and I got to say this because it hasn't been said. Troy has called a lot of companies in town, or people that own companies in town that do HVAC, and I don't believe that they've ever gotten back to him with estimates.
Really?
Yeah, and it just it's disheartening because we all have this mantra of let's support each other, let's do stick with people in town. Well, it's kind of, and I know the economy's great. Everybody's got a ton of work right now. I get it, but you'd think that if you live in town, you'd want to
Well,
kind of do
hopefully.
something.
So what I'm afraid of is we've had probably 8 or 9 contractors that live in town that have worked on that system for us.
Yeah,
And they're probably like, I don't want to have anything to do
Well,
with that thing.
And we totally get it, and we're looking at like a rebuild, not a patch. So
Right.
we're looking at saying, all right, you know what? Because some wires burned up in the controller. And the controllers, the wires got all literally caught on fire, melted. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I mean, the company that was in there this winter repaired a lot of that, so that's all set. But yeah, we need to redo the whole thing. And we made a decision we're going to go outside of the town now and solicit companies outside of town. But we'd started with everybody in and weren't getting.
So is
great
that's
response.
going to have to be an RFP though, correct? Because that's going to be,
Yeah, but we want to talk to companies to give us estimates too, and then
because we don't know what to put out for an RFP.
Yeah.
Okay.
On that note of talent, this isn't a 2020 warrant article, but what is the long range forecast for talent broadly? Because looks like we're up against the wall with like floors.
Yeah.
There's no more we can do with that. This thing is toast. There's constant door issues. So is there an actual master plan of when that thing is?
Oops, you got to build a new one now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think especially after the fire station went through. I mean, I know we've always talked about it. I know Jason Brennan 10 years ago actually put together a proposal that was like $1 million for a facility that was really nice. It was actually, we didn't even have to pay for the plans because it was actually something St. Francis was looking at doing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it had, not only a basketball court, size gym, but it had an exercise room, had meeting rooms, classroom, meeting room type things, which would be nice as a community center more than just a gym.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that might be something that's worth looking into.
Sure, it's more than $1 million now.
Well, the thing is, you know, I'm part of the capital planning committee with the school board too. And I mean, not the school board, but the school system. I'm the rep for the town with them. I can't emphasize this enough. You have to have a plan. You have to tell them, all right, this is what we're going to do. This is, you know, and you have to have things that everybody's going to be, you know, willing to spend money on. You know, you can't just say, we're going to build a gymnasium, because right away that eliminates 60% of the population. They're going to say, I'm never going to use it. But I mean, if we do have a community room, like you said, and workout rooms, and maybe allow the seniors to be there and have their meetings and stuff, I think that that's going to kind of wrap in a lot of different age groups, and that'll help us, you know, push the idea.
Right.
But at this point, to answer Peter's question, there is no capital improvement plan for
No.
Town Hall.
But we could do it, or, you know, the rec commission can do it. I don't see why, you know, if you guys wanted to look into something and, you know, come up with, you know, maybe it might not be this year, maybe it'll be 2021, but at least you're going to be moving forward, trying to either improve talent or significantly improve talent or sell the replacement.
So would a warrant article for 2020 potentially be to figure out how much it would cost for engineering plans and things, and put that as a warrant article saying, we want a warrant article to come up to pay for engineering plans to come up with.
Yes.
Because we can't just say we're going to build a gym and then have somebody come in and say, you can't build a gym here.
No, exactly.
And I agree.
that's-
I think the wording would be community center,
Yeah. Well,
not
yes.
gym, right?
Yeah, that'd be really interesting, because we'd really be able to get a sense of the support from the community. Because if, you know, they say no planning, then I think that would answer that question.
Well, I
quickly,
mean,
but if it's-
honestly, I'd love to say they were related, but I don't think they're related.
I think so?
I think there are people who don't understand the fact that you need to pay for the planning portion of it.
Yeah.
Like, why are we spending, why do we have to appropriate $25,000-$30,000 to plan for something that's going to cost us $1.5 million or $1 million or whatever it is? I think that sometimes that leap isn't seen.
Well, a lot of people say, well, if we're going to sink 25 grand into it, we're already saying yes to it. It's, I think I did see like 5 minutes of the meeting from last night, and all I could hear is like, it's a bag job, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's in the bag.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, baby steps work well. I mean, people digest things easier when it's in baby steps, and we're not trying to fool anybody. We just want to, you know, move forward and with the right way of doing it, which would be to let's explore this and let's put some money into it. And it's not, I know it's money, but it's not a lot if we, you know, allocate, you know, whatever, 25,000 or however, whatever number we come up with. At least if it's reasonable enough, and the people deem it reasonable enough, at least we can take that step and figure out where we need to be with
Right.
with the expense.
So we would have to do a warrant article and not necessarily take the 25, whatever it is, $1,000 out of impact fees.
No, we could just get that put into part of the budget through the
So we
warrant
could,
article.
so we wouldn't have to put it out to the public right away. We could take it out of impact fees.
Yeah.
Right? Go and
No impact
need a
fees. Are
planner.
not,
I mean, do you have to have it?
Impact fees, I think in order to use impact fees, it would have to be something that has been approved to happen. We can't use impact fees for looking at something.
See, I didn't think when we did Sawmill, we never voted on that as a town.
No, but the actual production of Sawmill we did, not the planning. We can't, like, in other words, right now, if we're going to spend $25,000 to plan for something and it doesn't happen, we're not adding a service or anything. So the impact fees have to be used to add a service or increase capacity of a facility.
Okay, but how did the plans for Sawmill come about? I mean, we had to get an architect. It had to be designed.
Right, but we had already had approval for the project. We had the impact fees for the project itself. We had a rough estimate before any plans were done of what the entire process would cost. So we actually had approval from the Board of Selectmen at the time to go ahead with the project.
Okay.
So we knew it was a done deal, so we could use the plans for
Okay.
that. And if it hadn't happened, they probably would have come back and said, you can't use impact fees. This is going to hit your budget.
See, another thing, the selectmen this year, and I don't know if you guys heard, but we toured the highway department a couple of weeks ago, and it should be on. They're going to be putting it on TV, so it'll be available on YouTube. But we're going to do all the facilities this year, so they'll be on the YouTube channel that Litchfield has. So we're going to do the fire department, the old fire department, the police department, the talent hall. So we plan on kind of opening everything up because a lot of people don't see the whole picture. They don't. I mean, how many times have you guys been in the police department? I never have until this, until I became a selectman. So, it's one of those things where we just want to share as much information as we can. And Talent Hall will be part of the tour that we're going to do for one of the videos. So, and it'll also be with the budget committee. So if we show, the budget committee and the people what we're up against with Talent Hall, then that'll help maybe help us move forward with a capital plan too.
Can you show them the winter schedule? Show them the winter calendar, not the summer calendar, but the winter calendar, and how there's no facility to use because we can't go to the schools.
Yeah.
That we're not allowed to use those.
Okay.
So.
And if it had, I'll tell you though, if talent had air conditioning, the summer schedule would look a lot like the winter schedule.
Yeah. But now at least we have the outdoor nets, the outdoor.
Right.
Yeah, those came out nice, by the way.
They did.
Basketball nets.
All right. So anything else? And so if we think of anything for warrant articles, I think we really should try and come up with those and bring them up at least at the next meeting and discuss those.
Well, I definitely want to, and if Matt's doing the minutes, the parking lot, the capital improvement, we got to put that on our capital.
Yeah, we talked about
improvement
that
plans.
earlier. I know the winter time, it's been horrible.
That parking lot is atrocious.
Yeah.
I mean, you go from being able to park 200 cars to being able to park 30.
Yeah.
During the winter, the water retention
It's
there.
not
And I
even
know-
winter. Even now, like good hard rain now,
Yeah.
that place it's flooded out right now. It's not
Yeah.
even the winter. So
Yeah.
So, but Troy, I believe a few meetings ago, Troy was asking us for,
Yep.
so who do we, I'm not sure what the board, if we're all in agreement that this is something that really needs to be addressed
Yeah.
this year.
I think that, you guys, I mean, Troy's got a lot on his plate and
Oh, I'm sure,
I'd love to if he wasn't doing anything, I'd say, hey, you know what, let's look into this. But if somebody here could look into this and, just talk to a couple different contractors, get some opinions, and then
Okay.
we kind of have an idea where we need to go.
Can we go, is it just, are we stuck with one
No.
contractor, or we can go and,
Yeah, you can speak with others.
Oh yeah, we can talk to as many as we want.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, that's part of, and that's something that we could. It's more of a pressing issue, but if we go ahead with it, we really need to. It's even more important to have a plan for the property because we don't want to do a parking lot.
I agree.
And say, oh, but now we're going to tear this part up. That we
I
just,
know, but if we're talking about, I hear what you're saying, but if
it's
if
not-
another
but-
building's
but-
not for
but-
5 years out.
yeah, and the
sit
thing
there.
is that it's not dependent on the building. Like that facility alone, in terms of usage of the
Usage,
park
yeah.
and
Right.
everything.
But I mean, if we have a
drives
rough
it.
idea of what we can use for building and where it would be, at least have it. I mean, I don't know if we can even pave it. I know there's something about.
Well, the drainage has to be addressed,
Right.
and yeah.
So that would be the
It's-
big
it's-
issue.
Yeah, that's something, we need to tackle this sooner than later, get that ready for a warrant article if we get some numbers together, and then, we'll talk to Troy about it. I just think that we need to do our homework instead of putting it on Troy, if
No,
that's
that's
all
fine.
right.
Now, is this something? I'm just thinking now, with your position with the school board, talking to the school board, is that something that we could talk about as a joint with the school? Because I could foresee them, because they're, I know, very tight for parking during the school day.
Uh-huh.
And it could be, I know,
Yeah,
like
kids park over there already. And walk.
right.
Yeah.
But it could be a spot where they, I know
Overflow.
in Pinkerton, we have a senior lot and now a junior lot because of all the juniors that are parking. They opened up another 250 spots. I mean, it's not that many kids, but it would be nice to have a facility that's plowed, that's paved, that they can have designated parking spots. Because right now, if there was a way to line that parking lot,
You could fit a ton of cars
You
in
get a
there.
lot more cars in there than you can now.
Yeah, because I mean, all it takes is one person to park different, and then they follow. Everybody else follows suit, and
Right.
I'm
Screws
just,
it all.
I'm just going to go on. I mean, I guess we could ask the school, but I don't see why they would say yes. Because realistically, they get through 80% of the school year without being like we're refusing people, and at the end they'll park down there anyway. So,
Right. But we could-
why pay for something that's free? You know what I mean? That's what I'd say. Like if they're like, well, you're not going to close it off to us if you pave it or if you leave it the way it is. So why would we pay for anything if?
Yeah.
Like I don't see. Let's put it this way. I don't see the school taking funds out of its already tight budget to help the town.
Doesn't hurt to ask though.
The school has limited, my son just graduated, so the school has limited parking spots that they give to seniors first on one day, and then juniors the next day. And then when they run out and if the kids miss it, that's when they park at Dara.
Right.
Or they also charge, I don't know if they're still gonna charge, but it was $100 per student to park the car. And the kids that don't wanna pay the $100 would park at Dara and then walk out.
And as Mike said, though, they get through most of the school year until the next round start getting their licenses, and then they start,
Right.
they have no spots, and they park over at Dara.
Yeah.
So they get through most of the school year.
All right. Moving on to old business. Any old business?
Basketball courts. Might as well talk about them since.
Uh,
Troy just sent around that email saying that they want to paint it next
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Is it
Um,
Tuesday now?
Yeah,
Yep.
which actually works out. Yeah, it was an email. I guess they got pushed back because of a prior commitment. And actually, I think that works out a lot better. I was just a little antsy about the softball tournament being there this weekend.
Yes,
fresh
yes.
paint.
And having them there for painting on
Yes.
Friday. That would just be,
Yep.
so
that
now if
actually
they're there
works, yeah.
Tuesday, it'll work a little better. So, and I know we had approved it earlier, but I wanted to talk to Keith and find out exactly what he got for lumber so we can sort of match. But we basically need 140 feet on one side and 100 feet on the other side of the wood rail. So I'm going to try. Jason Combs said he's going to try and get some of the kids that play the summer basketball. We're just going to do one night and just try and go down there and put that up there to, number one, protect the courts from any car. Actually, I went down there today and somebody had done a donut on the basketball courts.
Oh,
It's very faint, but
you know that paint's really starting to fade too. The
Oh, yeah.
lines that we put
plus
on
2
there.
years and it was just
It's pretty good though.
that
That's
was
not
Home
bad.
Depot. That was Home Depot paint and a soccer line, like one of the tools.
It was, so my thing is, all four nets are up, as we saw, all four posts are in. Even though, I mean, I swear when we drew those lines, they were all even. So they were big square. I don't know why two of the hoops are closer to the end lines than the other two hoops.
Yeah, two hoops are right on the end line.
Right.
The far ones, and
Yes.
the other ones are.
So when they paint it, I'm assuming that
But-
they're gonna end up lining it different sizes.
No, the hoops are in the same spot. The posts are in a different spot.
So they're different distances away.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I did look on the key itself,
Mhm.
where the hoop is
All right.
in the same spot on both courts.
Okay.
So.
They'll
yeah.
probably be, from what I could tell, those courts would be a little bit shorter than they are now too, because of
They-
how
they gotta
because
be
those because those hoops stick in further than the other ones used to.
Right. So they'll go off where the hoops are.
Right. Okay.
so the 4 new hoops are in.
Yep.
Have the old ones been removed?
So they're all removed. And they're all sitting outside the shed.
Well, there's the poles are sitting.
Poles are on one side
by
of the
the
tower.
HVAC
Okay.
and the hoops and
And
the
the rims.
backboards and the rims are over by the shed, which I think would probably be best. We should probably contact the school and say,
They want, or do you want to put them inside the shed?
No, we were talking about putting them in the shed for now.
I think we should give them to the
Just
school.
storing them.
We can. Do the schools need them?
Well, the schools have those same hoops,
Right.
so that way if something breaks, they can just replace it.
Were we going to keep them in case ours break, or was that not part
But
of
it
the
wouldn't
plan?
replace anything that we have,
Oh, okay, all right.
so it's not compatible with anything we have at this point. So the school could use them in case something gets damaged.
So I don't know where they must have some sort of storage.
Yeah.
Unit.
They have a huge thing at the high school that by the baseball field.
Yeah, I thought that was all just football stuff in there. Is that, I don't know what's in there.
It's, no, there's common, there's.
Oh, okay.
common.
And it's don't, that won't
Mainly
take,
football
it won't take up much space.
And we don't care about the pipes.
No, I can't imagine what we'd use them for,
I can use them for the scoreboards for the baseball fields.
but they've got an angle to them.
How far up is the angle start though?
Over 10 feet.
Not quite. The angle starts up around,
Well, doesn't it basically comes at 10.
It's a 90-degree angle, but it's, I don't know. I'll look at them.
probably starts.
I'll
at
let you
like
know
8
if I
feet.
mean, if
But
I
I mean,
can
they're
use
pretty-
them, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Hey. It's worth a look.
Yep.
All right. Any other old business?
Sawmill, the pavilion's up.
Oh, it is?
Just gonna put, we got some rock donated, some rock it's donated to us by Tim's Turf. So we gotta put that, we gotta spread that down underneath it. We gotta get some, we're waiting, we're looking to we gotta get some tarping, so to cover it. Therefore the grass won't grow through. But when we get that, we'll spread that. The other thing is Sawmill, speaking of the boards, do we have more boards? Because like some of those boards that are there have rotted. A couple of the posts have rotted. So we gotta start thinking about replacing them down there too.
Well, that's pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. That's,
Oh,
yeah.
pressure treated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
pressure
That
treated,
was our commentary too. Like it was surprising that some of them were,
They didn't cement those in, right?
no.
Okay. That's one
Yeah,
thing I was
it
told
wasn't
by a fencing guy is never cement in wooden posts.
Yeah,
The
they
water
won't.
For
collects.
water.
And,
Yep.
that's odd because that's how old? 5 years?
7. Is it 7 now? 6? 6 or 7.
So maybe we'll take a look at that when we order the stuff for the rails for Darrow. We can get.
Yeah, some extra boards, a couple
Yeah.
extra posts. Yeah.
I was going to try and use as much of the wood from the skating rink
Yeah.
as we could too.
That's a good idea.
So because there's a lot of long, I think 2x10s in there.
So will soccer or who would replace those?
It'll probably have to end up being soccer to go down there and do it.
I know soccer, lacrosse. I mean,
Yeah.
those are the ones.
Yeah. So.
Um,
doing it. No.
The other thing, I don't know if you saw the email, I got a call from Brian. And
Yes.
so if
Ditch.
the ditch, it's just right after where the pavement turns. you
Yep.
go into the
I
basketball
went through it
courts.
the other night. Yeah.
It's really getting, it must have been washed up because we've had some heavy rains. So hopefully we can get something there. But the other thing he asked, because I guess the speed bumps are doing their thing, but he said people are driving around the speed bumps and they're tearing up his grass or not his grass, but our grass. And actually there's a big mud puddle there now. And so, his question to me was, are we going to be locking this like they did last year? And I think it's something that we need to at least discuss we
did talk about the last meeting about shutting it, at least having people like trying to shut it every time, keeping it like halfway closed, if not locked, but when it comes down to it, it depends. If it's starting to become too much traffic down there and everything, then it comes down to locking it. You know what I mean? And there's nothing you can do about it at that point. You put the faith in it be that way being used for the basic purpose that it's needed for, which is to load and unload from the pond and everything.
but I'll
But
tell
again,
you,
as that gate stays open, more and more people go in there and just park there and park way down there instead of.
But you got the
walk
whole
from parking lot.
basketball thing now. You got softball now, fishing. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
I think people just. The gate's open, so I think they just use it. They just go.
Yeah, there's no signage down there either saying just for drop off only. or
No, there isn't any
that.
sign. You're right.
I mean, I always drove down there with my kids to the playground just so I didn't have to lug them down there.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know.
I mean, we've never put a sign up that says, fishing access only.
well, there is a
Drop off.
sign that says authorized vehicles only beyond this point.
I think everyone thinks they're authorized.
Um,
What kind of boats did it put in? like the river access, kayaks, canoes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but some larger rowboats, they can actually have, I forgot what size motor, there's like, what is it, trolling motor, they can, in that pond. So,
Because at the river, it's closed and it's quite a walk. You're not
Right.
allowed to drive down there.
yeah, so people bring some bigger, there's some trailers that people drive down there and
I mean, it's not a boat launch where I don't think you can drive all the way down and
No,
get
you
back
get
up.
stuck in the sand.
no,
Yeah.
but they get it to the point where they can basically drag it down on the sand and get it into the water.
I haven't been over there in a bit. Have people adhered to for softball, no parking?
No, I talked to Chad about it after we had the conversation. He says he shuts it, but people constantly reopen it. So it's like you always have to stay ahead of the next group because once one person does it, then it's like,
Right. It's free for all.
right.
Yeah.
Right, basketball courts from being driven on as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would go a long way to that.
that would do a long. Yeah, that would go a long way.
So I think,
So go back to logging it then?
yeah. So I think we need to get a new lock and a new chain and talk to the fire department and make sure that they have their access. Because usually what we do is we have a chain, we'll have a lock on it, and then they'll have a lock on a different part of the chain. And the police department will have a different lock on their part of the chain. So that way everybody has access to it. And then they just lock it when they're done. Our key we would have to provide to whoever does, like this year for TLC. And then,
Well, we had it there last year with the combo lock.
Right, the lock is
Right.
still on there.
Yeah.
Last I saw.
think it actually, yeah, I didn't look to see if it was still on there, but it wouldn't surprise me if it is still on there.
yeah, I think we should get rid of the combo lock though. I think it should be a key. Because once you get the combo out, the combo's out there.
Yeah, but then you have a problem of how many keys do you have? How many keys do you make? Who has them all? If someone needs access, who's going down there to give them
Yeah.
access?
And I know the biggest problem was the trash pickup.
Yeah.
Because then they can't get access to pick up the trash, deliver propane in the winter, which we'd leave it
Right,
up.
once we put it over there, they stopped dumping,
Porta potty.
and we had it inside the
Uh,
on the parking lot. The dump in there.
Any other thoughts?
Well, at one point when it was closed and it was just for the boat launch or whatever, boat drop, we gave those individuals that came in the code, right?
Right.
I don't know if we go back to the same thing, like,
We could go with a code, but change the code and have that one be a rotating code. Every year it changes. So, if people come in and want to use it all, but you want to put a boat in a bunch, then
Right.
we can give it to them and get their name and have their name, and then, let them know that it's going to change.
All right, I'll go down there tomorrow. I'll check out the status of it. If everything's in working order, I'll lock it so that basically we'll leave a 4-foot opening so that anybody with needs handicap access can get in there. And then I'll figure out if we can reset the code on the lock.
You can. It's just one of those standard locks.
Right.
We get a new one.
I got a key in the car.
so I think softball
Pop
has
in,
their,
change. Yeah, I get that.
Oh, okay. Do you want to do it?
I can do it. Yeah.
All right. And then just email us the code
Mhm.
and email it to Troy too.
Okay.
Because especially, I don't want those guys showing up on Tuesday to paint the course.
Yeah.
Sorry, we can't get down there.
Well, I was just thinking we did about this time last year talk about permanently, like keeping those gates locked as much as possible.
Mhm.
But the problem is then, you got a good point with the trash, with the dumpster and stuff. But if we know the schedule,
Well, it's not even that. I mean, you give it to that company. Like let's put it this way. Like the porta potties, like to get into Brickyard, they have the access to get down there.
yeah.
They actually, I'm pretty sure they use soccer has a lock there, and they use that access code to get down there.
Yeah.
So as long as those companies have the code, they'll have it on like their invoice or whatever. When they go in to pick up, they'll have whatever that code is on there so that they know how to get in. So having it on there helps, and they can do it on their own. We don't have to sit there and monitor, okay, someone has to be there at,
Yeah.
10:30 on a Friday because that's when the trash company's coming.
Should we have some type of sign put on there for any vendor? Because I'm just thinking if we can put something small on there saying, if this gate is locked and you need access, please call town hall.
Yeah, I put, yeah.
It's probably not a bad idea.
On there.
Yeah, that way we just don't get a vendor coming up going, I have no idea who to call.
Right.
That's a good idea.
Put your cell number on it.
Yeah. What, Kurt cell? Okay.
Yeah, I live right around the corner. Yeah.
The only thing, Mike, is that softball has a tournament this weekend. So I know they usually park down there and the umps. So if they need
it'll be,
to change it.
I'll have to give, honestly, you have to give it a chat anyway, because
Yeah.
he's going to need to get, like, whenever they fill up the snack shack or fill up any
Right.
of that or bring stuff
Personally,
in, they're
yeah.
going to need to get in there anyway.
Yeah.
We're not restricting access isn't to prevent when you need to get there.
Oh, I agree.
It's
I
just
agree. Yep.
when it's to prevent the access when.
Well, you can't have people doing donuts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Well, that's
Well,
it.
the other thing too is we need to make sure that the other two gates are locked,
locked, yeah.
because
They'll drive
the
across
the
the
worst
lot.
thing that could happen is that's locked and somebody goes, oh, I can get over here and go right across the
Yeah.
field.
Yeah, that gate by the batting cage isn't locked a lot.
Right.
No, it isn't. It's always open.
And
I don't think there's even a lock on there anymore.
yeah, we should get that locked. And I don't think there's a lock on the one behind Talent because nobody really knows about it.
I'll take a look and see. If not, I think I have a couple of locks
Okay.
sitting in the car. You have them and you rotate through, and what I usually do is I'll usually change the lock, clean them, and reuse them as long as they're good. So I have like 2 or 3 extra of those standard combo locks that every organization in this town uses.
Awesome.
So we do have one more request. I don't know if this one came in from LRBL. This was June 12th. So Tom Gruel, they're looking to hold a skills and drills summer clinic for 3rd through 8th graders, boys and girls. 4 sessions would run from June 24th through July 15th, Monday nights only, from 6 to 7:30.
In Talent or
Talent, yeah. So he's saying, came in on June
Oh, that's right. I
12th.
remember because that's
Yeah.
when I replied asking for the list of their new officers because I didn't know who
Correct. Yeah.
was who. And he is the vice president of.
Yeah, that's what it
so
says,
he's
yep.
the one. So I mean, like in the past, for them, if it's LRBL, they don't need to fill out that request.
Okay,
You know,
so,
they're an author. So because LRBL, LGSL, soccer, lacrosse, they're all authorized users of the hall. So basically, it's
so we just have to check and see if talent's available Monday
And if it
nights. I
is, then they're good. Yeah.
I don't even know. Yeah. Pickleball looks like they're out by 4.
Yeah.
On Mondays. All right, so they also provided an insurance,
Right, because their insurance was up, I
Okay.
believe. Right? I think.
so. I'll take a look.
okay, so he's all set. He can run his clinic.
Okay. All right. Any other old business?
Well, just, we never discussed Tasia's request, Andy. I think the money would need to, all monies that she's collecting would have to come to the town.
Right. She's supposed to bring it to the town.
Right, because she said she works at TD, but she should bring it to the town, they'll deposit it.
Right, because they need to account for it in the revolving fund. And then,
Exactly, okay. So I'll get back to Tasia on that one.
and actually, I don't know if I sent it to her. I created a Google form that I wanted to use because, so I created a Google form. I figured we can use it for anybody depositing, like for basketball, for summer basketball, so that we kind of know what money is going in there for them to fill out saying, hey, I just deposited $300 for
Right.
volleyball. So that at least, because right now we need to keep track of what money is in there by what organization. They can give us a total at the town hall, but they're not going to tell us so much is baseball, so much is this, so much is that.
So each organization should keep track of how many
Money
people are
in,
signing
money
up
out,
and the
right.
money they're taking in.
She's actually pretty good about that. I mean, I know what mostly every group has.
Right. But I mean, I'm just thinking that if people are depositing and she doesn't know who they,
Oh yeah, well she's got to know so she can create
Right.
a category. But yeah, that's the
I think
revolving
I-
fund. She's very very good with.
I have it set up so that it's a Google form. When they fill it out, they'll get an email with basically a slip that they will then bring and turn in the town hall so that the town hall will know exactly what group it goes towards.
Okay.
So it's almost like
I haven't seen
creating-
it. You haven't sent it out to us yet?
No, so I'll send that out tonight. I think I was playing around with it to make sure it worked properly.
Good. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? I would like to, if we can, we do have 3 candidates here for positions on the commission. I don't know if you guys talked at the last meeting. I don't know if you wanted to sort of introduce yourself and tell us what your interests are. And we do have 1 full position and 2 alternate positions if you had a preference. The only difference for the alternates are if all the full-time members are here, you don't get to vote. You do participate in the meeting. If we are missing somebody, which we never are, then you can be, basically one of the alternates gets appointed as to vote for that meeting, or and if somebody has to abstain, if we're talking about something and it involves your family or something, you can't vote, we can appoint an alternate to vote in your spot. So we always want to have an odd number of people voting if possible to avoid a tie. So I don't know if any of you guys want to come on up and introduce yourselves.
Sit here.
Yes.
I'm Andy Ruggles. I live at 54 Century Lane. Moved here about 2 years ago. I've got 3 young boys, 5, 3, and 1. So we're very active in the, just starting to become active in the rec leagues, baseball and soccer. And we did the winter clinics, which were fantastic. And I just would like to give back to the community and try to make the rec commission even stronger.
Great.
So,
And you also did the design for.
Dara Pond.
Yep, saw that. That's great.
Yeah, I work for an engineering company, so if you guys need
Perfect.
some concepts and stuff,
Ah,
Can you think of anything for talent?
yeah.
A match.
Perfect.
Keep saying that. If something ever happens, we're all going to be the first ones to get questioned.
Absolutely.
I'm Chris Burns. I live at 4 Center Street. Been in town 10 years now, I guess, a little over, almost 10 years, 8 years, maybe somewhere around there. Blends together. But I've got young kids in the school system as well. I've been actively involved with the softball league. I've coached soccer when they were into that. Helped out with the river access committee and the playground committee at GMS. So, I've enjoyed what I've done so far and just want to help give back as well.
Okay, great.
My name's George Stephen Gannon, not to be confused. I've been in town about 20 years. Unlike these guys, my youngest is just graduating, so I'm almost out of the woods. I'm interested I got involved with the River Access Subcommittee. I helped Jason Brennan and Pete and all that on the beautification fund, and I just found it interesting. I felt it was rewarding, and that's something I'm interested in. With my height, I was never good at basketball, more of a football kind of guy, but I'm more interested in doing things like possibly, as we talked about, Dara Pond, River Access, starting up or restarting the fishing derby down at Mark Lane. So I'm more interested in like water use, water sports, and trying to see if we could do something with that management, monitoring, maintaining the different water areas that we have in town. By trade, I'm an IT design engineer. I like outdoorsy stuff, but usually it's more like with motors on it, snowmobiling, ATV, and that kind of stuff.
Great.
Thanks. So do any of you guys have a preference as to what you'd rather be, a full-time member, a part-time member, or
I'm flexible.
Whatever you
An
guys
alternate.
need. Seriously,
Well, yeah, as you can tell, it's, a lot of times, like this is actually the most
The
we've
most,
had in
yeah.
a while. Everyone's always involved anyway. So alternates, permanent members, everyone's always up here, no matter what the meeting is. And everyone's always invited, everyone's invited to participate. It's just a matter of voting when there happens to be, you know, everyone here.
And I'll warn you, there is a criminal background check done on you once as part of the process. So if you want to run now,
For coaching soccer and baseball.
Yeah.
So.
how
Got a
did
65 on both.
how did I get on the committee? I don't know.
And a selectman.
I know.
Yeah. You get voted in there. There's no background check for that. No.
I guess it comes down to the commitment level. If you guys feel like you have the ability to commit to the weekly meetings and all that. I'm really flexible. I work from home, so I'm always in town. And
Is it a weekly meeting or a monthly?
Bi-monthly.
Yeah.
It's the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month, except for the summer. This year we're doing one in June, one in July. August we're going to go back to 2. We decided last meeting because
There's a lot of stuff.
because of
Yeah.
trying to get get the budget process up and everything.
RFP.
Yeah. So this year we're going with an extra meeting earlier, but usually it's 2 a month.
I think I'd be interested in alternate.
Okay.
what did you say? How many full-time members? is-
So 2 alternates and 1,
Yeah, we have one. We have one.
2 alternates, one's full.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
1 full-time.
I'm willing to do either way.
I have 3 small children, so I probably shouldn't be but I'll be available.
Do you guys have any questions for us about anything as far as the commission is concerned, or?
I usually keep up on it, watching the YouTube channel. So I've watched a lot of them. That's when I noticed that you're struggling with memberships or attendance. Now, not really listening and understanding what you're doing. It's it's just a bit of time commitment, and
Yeah.
if you dedicate it to a sport, I know that definitely helps.
again, it doesn't. I mean, most of us end up coming in because
Right.
of some
Of a
sort of sports affiliation.
Right.
That's not necessarily needs to happen. You know, what I mean, it's in when John was chair, John always his biggest thing was bringing in as much diversity in terms of activities as he could,
Yeah.
and welcoming those whatever activities they were. So you know what I mean. Having someone who has an interest in the river access and the fishing derby and all that is something where honestly we're probably kind of weak at. So it helps as much as many things as we can bring in. It makes everything better for everyone that we're trying to help with resources. So again, help. We, as you say, we need help, and it's all as it always comes down to, a lot of the stuff is done in town volunteer wise, and we do. A lot of it's volunteer. It's not. It's not like our budget is vast and expansive and never ending. So
You're almost a liaison at times.
yeah, at times we'll be out there trying to like the whole fence around Dara, the fence around the basketball court of Dara is going to be, volunteer and
I mean, it does a couple things. Number one, it saves a lot of money, but it's also if people in town do it, it tends to not get damaged, not get misused because people are like, hey, I did that. And I just spent
Or
my
our neighbors did that.
yeah, I spent a weekend giving up my time cutting down trees,
On the
doing this.
River Access Subcommittee, so we're out there digging lots and lots and lots
Yep.
of holes.
Mhm.
And you just automatically start self-policing it because you have a vested interest in it.
Right.
Even though I don't have I have a kayak, but I haven't brought it down yet. But it's still, I know the time and effort that we spent out there in the hot sun, that it's something that we both have an interest in, that we don't want to see misused. And
Yeah.
abused.
Yeah, we were involved with the fence at the north end of town too.
And it's contagious too. You start doing it and you want to do more. It is a good feeling when you're done with something and you're like, wow, that was kind of neat. And you get to see it, and your kids get to see it, and other kids get to enjoy it. It's
Yeah,
a
it was
good
nice to
feeling.
see too, like when we started talking about the river and how it quickly unfolded and how much volunteers helped, how much small businesses contributed to like the fence and
The driveway.
the driveway, the parking lot area and all that, and it was kind of nice to see.
Yep.
It's a good feeling.
And although, I mean, the spreading of the mulch, I don't know how many people you had show up down there,
15, 20?
Yeah. so,
One gentleman came with his tractor, which was the nice savior.
all right. All right, we have any, thank you very much for showing up.
So the next step would be,
So, I guess the next step would be, we would need to vote.
You vote or
So-
you do a background check or? you
Well, no, what we do is we
Recommend.
to recommend you to,
recommend it to the
Selectmen.
Board of Selectmen, and it's actually their purview to say yes, or so you'll have to meet with them. They'll grill you up and down. And they'll threaten
Are you
you. I
breathing?
heard they threaten you.
Us. We don't threaten people.
And then once you get appointed, they'll do a criminal background check. You'll get sworn in by the town clerk. And we'll have to know exactly what the seat is that's open and when because
Yeah,
what
the
happens
term.
is we do you serve a 3-year term.
That was gonna be my next question, what is the term?
There's a 3 and a 2, isn't there? 'Cause
yeah.
it's gotta go in
it's
step.
three. It's all three,
Really?
No, but I mean, it's
but it's staggered.
right.
Well,
So, like,
but I thought
If,
there was.
if they get appointed, they all wouldn't be appointed for 3 years at this point. Somebody would
That's
have to take a 2-year and somebody would have to
Yeah.
take.
Probably.
Because if you picked everybody for a 3-year, then all of a sudden all 3 of them would be gone.
Right.
So these are all appointed positions, they're not.
Correct. So we'll have to find out when.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if
Well, it's easy enough. I mean, you and
It's
Keith
3
started at the same time.
we
right?
did.
So
Yep.
when is your term up?
I just signed back up in,
Last year.
2018.
So you've got 2 years left. So you have 2 years left.
Keith has 2 years left.
I have one light year.
You have one,
This March.
Smart, you're done.
We just re-upped this year. You and I.
Yes. So
We'll have to get the information. from
So the
Laura.
2 full-time spots that we have, if you get appointed to a full-time, would actually be up next year.
Correct.
So the full member, whoever we appoint, would be due up again in 2020.
Alternates would be 3.
And the alternates, well, we have 4 alternates, so
They'd probably be staggered.
they would be staggered. It'd be a 2-year and a 3-year term. So the full member would be a 1-year term.
It's very hard to get reappointed.
Yeah, it's by law, it's
You
a
want to
3-year term.
stay?
for
Yeah,
everybody.
okay, done.
What's that?
3-year?
Go re-sign the letter.
3 years across the board.
What do you mean?
3-year terms across the board. It said that the initially appointed members of the commission shall serve staggered terms and their successors shall be appointed under the same appointing procedure.
Right, so, but what happens is those original positions.
Yeah.
The times continue on, so like if
Yeah.
you get put into
That's
that, then it's wherever it was in the cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and then when they get renewed, the 1 year person will go to 3 year. The 2 year person will go to
Right.
3 year, and the 3 year will go to 3 year.
Yep.
So you'd have to get reappointed again next year if you took the full member position,
Okay.
because that one seat is up next year.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because we never want to have more than 2 people.
Yeah.
2 full members up any year. All right, so I'll make a motion to recommend all 3 gentlemen. Steve for the full member, Steve for Chris for the alternate,
Andrew.
Andy, I can remember your name, 'cause it's for the other alternate, and we'll know what those terms are. There'll probably be a 2-year term and a 3-year term. I don't know if either one of you have a preference.
I don't.
Okay. Well, you're going to be stuck with us anyway.
Yeah,
So do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed?
Thank you guys for coming out. We need
Yeah,
that.
thank you guys. So I'll forward that to the selectmen. And when is your next meeting? You just met yesterday, so
Oh, yeah.
Probably after the 4th, I guess.
It'll be, it'll be the 8th, July 8th.
all right. So probably the July 8th meeting, they might have you come down. If you're not available, obviously you can go to the next meeting. But they'll want to just talk to you and sort of, it's a quick meet and greet.
Yeah.
They'll ask you why you want to do it, try and talk you out of it, and then
Scare you.
um,
You really want to do this?
try and steal you for another conservation commission or something like that.
Yeah. Have you all filled out the paperwork already?
Yeah.
Okay, so-
I have it.
Okay.
There were two, two were dropped in, so Steve and Chris.
um, And if you have your email, I don't know if you can find, if you have the form. If you don't, I can email it to
Is it
you.
online?
Yeah.
All right.
It's,
It's gotta be on the town website, it's not on us.
right, it's on the town website. It's just a volunteer form on the town website.
And they're just bringing it to Donna.
All right.
Maybe like I'm just thinking they may not be it may not get processed quickly enough for the next selectment meeting,
Right.
especially this time of year where
The holiday, yeah,
Yeah.
because they're taking
So it might
2 days
be-
off next week.
it might be the meeting after, but they'll let you know.
Right, but if you can get the paperwork filled out tomorrow, I'll email tomorrow so that at least Troy will have the information.
Yeah.
Because it'll only take, the process really doesn't start until you get until you get appointed by the Board of Selectmen.
Right.
Then you get sworn in with the
Yeah,
town
it's a
clerk,
swearing
and then
in,
you
the
go.
background
Yeah.
check, it's,
I don't see why they can't get on the agenda for the July 8th meeting. I mean, it's simple.
yeah.
When do you start your summer meeting schedule?
Next meeting.
Next
Yeah.
week, which is,
Oh, this meeting. This is actually the summer meeting schedule.
Right. Originally, we weren't supposed to meet this week. We were going to meet June
11th.
11th, but then that was also the sports awards night at Campbell High School. So we canceled that meeting and are having this. So our next meeting will be the first Tuesday of July.
July.
Second Tuesday of
July
July.
9th, yeah.
July 9th.
Right, so after the selection.
Yeah. And then we'll jump to August for the next meeting after
Yes.
that one. So I'll give you plenty of time to get sworn in and try to change your mind, but you won't because you're sworn in.
hurry up and wait.
Yeah. All right. Any other business? Looking for a motion. One final
Motion to
motion.
adjourn.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn in a second. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Abstain. All right, we're all set. Thank you.